basically what we do is take it all apart, inspect bearings, bores, heads, everything about this engine that we're going to reuse. We have to check it, inspect it, make sure everything's still good.
Welcome back to another episode. It's me solo. Wilson's out. Salazar's missing in action. But got a few things I want to show you today. Let's get started instead of me standing there. I wanted to show kind of a comparison. A lot of the shops that you'll see are offering the conversions, and they present an engine that they're going to put in your vehicle. I think we stand alone as being the company that will offer a resealed engine, remanufactured engine, or overly built at the 800 plus horsepower. I got two motors here in front of me that are examples of how we get our base engine, our donor engine, our takeout, and then the final product. Every engine we have gets stripped down to the last nut and bolt. Looking at the images of other companies out there, that's not the typical protocol. Nothing wrong with it, and I think in some situations that's totally fine. We used to do what's called the low mileage takeout, where you get that 30, 40, 50,000 mile motor and test it for oil pressures, temperatures, full run cycle on our engine stand, and then we'd install it in the engine. But being an LBZ, being a 2006 model engine, you don't find those with those lower miles on the engines. So we did away with the low mileage takeout. We went with the reseal. Taking that used engine, strip it down to the last nut and bolt, reassembling the whole thing, new gaskets, new water pump, new rubber all throughout, whether it be fuel or coolant related. Again, just as it's titled, a resealed engine. Take a look at what we got here. So this is it. This is the LBZ. This is going to be proofed with the ECM here, checking some mileage, obviously going for the VIN check with the Carfax, engine, Allison 6-speed, and the transfer case there. We go through and would clean it up. Most companies are just doing the same thing, pressure wash it and dial it in, replace parts that were then cut upon either removal and or any damages that were done that deem this engine a donor. I don't see any impact marks. I don't see any witness marks from where there's any issues with this thing. So hopefully this has got a decent internals when we open it up and go from there. I'm gonna eventually turn into this engine here. This is the final product. This is our test stand harness. So this is not the one that's gonna go with it. You're gonna go and the engine harness itself has already been cleaned up and refitted. See here, we have the ARP head studs, has the PPE branded exhaust manifolds that increase that flow. Obviously the transmission's been gone through with our PTO plate there that labels it as that stage 4, and everything's cleaned up. All right, I grabbed Flo so we can go over it a little bit. I'll go that way so we get into the sun. He's gonna run it down. I know a little bit, he knows it all.
We have right here is a reseal, and basically what we do is take it all apart, inspect bearings, bores, heads, everything about this engine that we're going to reuse. We have to check it, inspect it, make sure everything's still good. Clean everything up pretty much, get it repainted. This one here we just did a regular black and silver. Everything gets cleaned up, like I said. The customer went with the ARP head studs, the PPE exhaust pipes. You can't really see it, but it has ARP main studs. There's a tiny little ARP right there. It's dark. Yeah. But pretty much that's the engine side. Transmission, pretty much same thing. We break it down. This one, the customer went with the stage 4 transmission, so broke it all down, put new clutches, steels, went through the whole thing, did shift valves on the valve body. Also the same thing with transfer case. Transfer case broke it down, broke the transfer case down, and we did our 2-wheel drive select. So you now have the option of 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, 4 high, 4 low on this transfer case, as opposed to your stock one right there.
And this is the electronic shift. This is out of the Chevy GM truck, right?
Yeah, this is out of your typical Chevy truck.
You know, the low mileage engine was great. We used it for years when we could find those low miles, but you don't know what type of use it was. You don't know what type of maintenance it was done. So Flo ends up getting in here, like you were saying, looks at everything, inspects it all. If it doesn't meet his scrutiny, it'll go to our remanufactured option, which is a step up from there, where everything gets remanufactured, goes to the machine shop for head work, polish crank, and the blocks check, mag check for any issues there. And then the more elite package would be our assault package, where you have that, you know, plus minus 700 horsepower, where you do the bigger turbo injectors, is bored over, and all the bells and whistles that are included. So I was mentioning earlier, we had this harness. This is our test harness, you know, and I mentioned that in a way because I saw how bad and how kind of ratty this harness looks. I've seen you spend good amount of time going through the actual engine harness and cleaning it up.
Yeah, inspecting all the wires, especially with some of these harnesses. If they get dragged, you know, from the forklift or whatever it might be, you got to make sure inspect everything. No pinched wires, no spliced wires. Just pretty much go through the whole engine and transmission harness.
Yeah. And this one's out of state, so obviously it has the exhaust and EGR delete, right?
Yeah, it has the EGR delete. I'm not sure what state this is from, but this is our EGR delete plate right here. Gets rid of the EGR cooler. You can see mounted on your typical LBZ LMM.
Yeah. And that does away with that.
Oh yeah,
the up pipe to the EGR. And then obviously the 4-inch from the turbo back. Well, thanks, man. Again, it was just a quick overview. Give you guys an idea how I feel we differ from a lot of other companies, going that extra mile, making sure our entry-level engine package, it still far exceeds just a takeout engine.
And I believe we are going to be doing a time-lapse video on this one. We'll show you guys how it goes from pretty much from this stage on the pallet to the final product on here.
Sanderson,
what up?
You got a big smile on your face today.
It's good. It's raining. Coronavirus is kicking it. Let's go.
Oh my God! What are we doing?
Gonna go check in on Flo. See where he's at with this motor build. It's been time lapsing for the last week or two. Couple days. Feels like a week.
Your time's way off.
Yeah. Kyle's over here helping clean it out. He's working with intake part now. Looks like Flo. What are you up to?
So pretty much just got the block out of the wash tank over there. I already got it honed. Everything looks good. There's no wear on the block. All the bearings look pretty good, in good condition. There's no wear marks or anything like that. Just getting the block prepped, ready to reassemble, which I'll be doing in the time-lapse video next week here.
When are you gonna paint? Because I was actually gonna hit the customer up, ask the customer if he wants to do a different paint. I know typically it's that black and silver that showed on the other one. But he's got a bright yellow H2 this is going in. I know sometimes in the past we've done custom colors.
Yeah, should be ready to paint by this afternoon.
Nice, okay, I'll get on the phone here shortly. Nothing on the bearings, everything was plenty of meat after you mic'd them?
Yeah, everything that I mic'd, I mean, everything was in still tolerable limits. Yep. So everything's good to go.
Nice.
Pistons, rods, everything looked good. Like I said, it was just one of the low mileage engines that we got.
Yeah, no, very cool. All right, Flo, we'll get out of your hair, let you work. I'll get you answers on the block color if the customer has a preference. Let me know if there's anything you want to highlight when we come back out here, grab Jason, get the camera, and something that you might want to show off to these guys. But you guys stay tuned for the next episode, which is going to be part 2, the time lapse that Flo is going to film on putting this engine back together. We'll also share the H2 that this is going in, and we'll follow up with that and get that transition into the conversion side. So stay tuned, hit the subscribe button, and thanks for watching.
You sleeping in here, Randy?
Fuck.
Get a perm.
Oh, I know, right? It's fucking Jerry curls, huh?
Kyle said he hasn't washed his fucking hair in about, I don't know, 6 weeks.
Is this a new
That's the new hat, yeah. It's a new custom hat. We got new merch.
New merch? Well, that's new merch.
Yeah.
But what about this hat?
That's
Is this
custom.
New custom?
Yeah.
Custom Predator hat?
Stand off,
Look at
one
that.
off.
Damn.
One off. And then if I'm doing
That's
any
like
electrical
straight
work,
custom.
I can go ahead and grab some tape. It's dual purpose.